Okay, let's jump to the real reason why we're here today. Let's talk about the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, the slides open of triple pane windows.
The yay or the nay?
To the office! Woo! Well, that was ridiculously fun, actually.
It's good to be a child again.
Yes. Welcome, everyone. Let's get into triple pane windows, yay or nay?
We're going to break down all of the ins and outs and figure out whether it is worth the money or not.
Exactly. And specifically, we're going to be talking about Southern California because that's where we are. Is it relevant to where we live? Is it something that we actually need? That's the question.
And if 2 is great, isn't 3 better?
Well, I guess we are going to find out. Section number 1, how triple pane windows work. Duncan, can you explain for us how triple pane windows work and how they differ from the much more common dual pane windows?
Yes, Maria, I can. So, a lot of people don't actually understand what dual pane windows are. So let me start with that. So dual pane windows are, instead of 1 pane of glass, you have 2 panes of glass separated by an airspace with a spacer bar. And depending on how wide that is, you'll get varying differences of energy efficiency, noise control, and stuff like that. So to go from a dual pane to a triple pane, you add another gap, another airspace, and then another pane of glass.
Okay.
And so what that does is that adds about 1/3 more weight to the window. So when it comes to installing that, be prepared to have a workout because they're going to be 33% heavier, roughly, than a dual pane window. But hopefully that explains it in a way that people can understand. Because we've had so many people ask, are the pieces of glass sandwiched together or how does it work? But it does make for thicker dual pane unit, which also increases the thickness of the frame. So when you're considering your purchase, you've got to think about wall depth and what you're going to have for finishes on the inside.
Okay. Well, I mean, generally then what you're saying, it seems like it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it just feels like maybe triple pane is sort of like this premium compared to dual pane.
Yeah, they're generally very similar. And you can make dual pane windows in many different ways, as you can with triple pane windows, depending on what you're trying to achieve.
All right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Let's get to the next section, shall we?
Yes.
Section number 2, why manufacturers created triple pane. So, double pane was already a huge upgrade from single pane. I'm just wondering why manufacturers went through the entire effort of making triple pane windows. Can you explain that for me, please?
Why not? Next section.
Honestly, I think they need a little bit more there, please, instead of, you, Duncan, knows best.
Okay. So, music to my ears. First reason, performance. These were really invented for cold climates. There are code changes these days where people are wanting to do passive house and net zero projects, and you have to have really, really high energy efficiency ratings to get that, and triple pane does that for you.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Any other reasons?
Yes, acoustics and comfort. So with dual pane and triple pane, you can control what is actually put between the 2 panes. Sometimes you have just a hermetically sealed glass unit where there is just air in between. Mm-hmm. And if you want to upgrade, you can go with argon gas, which is a denser gas than air. And that also slows the transmission of hot, cold, and noise. And so that creates a more efficient window.
Okay. Well, noise is a huge factor. I mean, absolutely we get so many questions around noise, in especially, where we're building next to freeways or,
Downtown.
exactly, downtown, close to each other. I mean, you see how houses are just compacted so close together. So noise is definitely a factor. I can understand that for sure. Anything else?
Yeah. So even though everything you've just said is true and noise is a factor, you can affect the sound transmission of dual pane windows by changing the thickness of the glass. And you don't want to change both pieces to thicker. That actually doesn't work as well as changing one pane to a thicker piece of glass than the other. And what that does is it confuses the sound waves and makes it harder for them to bounce across the space. So triple pane can get you better noise reduction, but so can adjusted dual pane windows.
Got it. Well, it just sounds like that really what's nice about triple pane or dual pane or single pane, which nobody really wants, but it's just that you've got options.
Yes, absolutely. And it would be a pain if you didn't.
I'm not even going to acknowledge that one. Section 3, worth it in SoCal. This is such a great question. It's a really big question because, are there any factors or any situations where really you need to have triple pane windows in Southern California?
Well, here's the thing. When it comes to energy efficiency, the benefits of triple pane over dual pane are marginal at best. So that's a hard one to answer. But in Southern California, we've got coastal, we've got inland, we've got mountains, we've got city. We have it all.
Yes, we do.
Come back. Focus.
Oh, sorry. I was swimming in a beach somewhere. Or maybe I was just actually on the beach somewhere.
That sounds kind of sandy.
Okay, right. Well, so the bottom line is, are there any reasons or situations where I, a Southern California resident, should have triple pane windows?
I'm glad you asked that question. I don't know if should have or could have is the right answer, but here are some locations. I'm going to read them to you.
Okay.
Homes near highways, airports, or busy streets. Mountain or desert properties where nights get very cold. High-end builds aiming for passive house or top thermal comfort, and homes with severe condensation or humidity problems where interior comfort condensation control is a priority.
Holy wow. That is a lot of information that you just gave. First of all, I don't even know what passive houses are.
Passive houses are houses that are designed to have the roof, the insulation, the windows and the doors, the entire building envelope, including the floor, rated at the highest ratings you can get, and that is what passive homes are all about. So you can't achieve that from just replacing your windows and doors.
Okay, so you can only achieve, if I'm understanding you correctly, a passive house with triple pane. You couldn't do it with dual pane in this particular case.
That is my understanding.
Okay, got it. And so then you mentioned so much, but specific sort of climates or areas within Southern California, specifically if you were in the mountains or sort of in the deserts, where
Yes.
you have those extreme conditions.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Or then by freeways.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, what's interesting about that is that most Southern California residents, at least, where we're talking about specifically here down in San Diego, sort of up through LA and Orange County, it doesn't really seem like maybe triple pane is worth it.
Exactly.
Well, that is good to know. All right, let's talk about our final section, section 4, value and ROI. In our most recent episode, we actually talked about the numbers for replacing windows and doors. So I think now would be a great time to also talk about the ROI and value of triple pane.
Yeah, the high ROI, of upgrading to dual pane windows does not transfer to triple pane. You'll see an increase in savings of about 1 to 3%, not a serious increase.
Where do I see the savings in?
Over dual pane?
It's over dual pane for...
Going to triple pane.
triple pane for, is that energy savings or is that the cost of actually buying the windows?
No.
I'm not understanding.
That is the energy efficiency.
The energy efficiency of
Yes.
1 to 3%. I mean, look, it's not a lot, but that is money in your pocket.
Yeah, but you have to weigh what does it cost you out of your pocket to get that 1 to 3% energy savings, and is it worth it?
Got it. Okay, so there's a catch.
There is a catch.
All right. What's the catch?
The catch is that when you upgrade from single pane to dual pane, you get 80 to 85% return on your investment.
We talked about that.
We
right.
did.
We just talked about that.
You save an average of $465 a year on your energy bill.
Okay.
Going to triple pane doesn't change that by very much at all, and there is a greater expense up front.
Okay, I'm with you. That makes a lot of sense. So I have a higher expense to get triple pane, but I don't have really that ROI. I'm not getting an additional ROI because it's about the same as a dual pane vinyl or fiberglass window, which we already talked about in our previous episodes. Yep. I've already got my savings for energy efficiency of $465 on average. I'm only going to get a little bit, so really what am I doing?
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, I do have one situation. What if I am in my home and I am being driven absolutely crazy with the noise? It is a real pain.
It is. We deal with this a lot, and there are still two choices. You might think triple pane is the answer, and it might be, but you can also achieve great noise reduction with dual pane windows by changing the thickness of the glass. You can get significant noise reduction by doing that without the expense of triple pane, and you might even go as far as changing the thickness of the glass in a triple pane. But you know, you're getting into a lot more money and a lot more weight, so you really have to weigh the differences and see if it's worth the incremental increase in noise reduction.
Wow. Well, you know, I think that the bottom line is that based on what you just said about all these different variations in terms of glass and glass thickness and, you know, dual pane, I guess, versus the triple pane and what would be my best situation, there's a lot of choices for homeowners. They've got a ton of choices.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, and that's absolutely, you know, fantastic. I think that, you know, based on your personal assessment, you want to, you know, talk to a window and door expert and make sure to get that information from them.
Yeah, it's not one choice for all. You build your windows these days to fit your house rather than just ordering standard size and standard everything.
Wow. Well, that is great stuff. I think we've wrapped everything about triple pane.
I hope so.
Me too. It's been a pain.
Yes, it has.